Hello there. So today we're going to discuss banking. I think there will be some helpful hints as we continue our money management series. It's difficult, though not impossible, to live in our society without using a bank. Banks provide many services that help us, such as cashing checks, holding money for our direct deposits, providing cards to make financial transactions, and making loans for bigger purchases, such as cars or houses. On the other hand, when you're working with limited finances, you should be aware that there are pitfalls to avoid. And knowing these pitfalls allows you to ask good questions at your bank and makes you less likely to fall into them. So, let's consider some of those pitfalls. The bank has many hidden fees that are not necessarily explained when you open an account. Banks are required to disclose these fees, but they don't always do so, or they will tell you in the form of a stack of papers with fine print. Here's what I mean. There are extra fees when your balance, that means the amount of money that you have in the bank, goes below a specific dollar amount. There are also extra fees for ordering more checks, some ATM withdrawals, swipe fees, overdrafts, and paper statements. Now, let me explain some of these fees and make some suggestions. First, make sure that the checking or savings account that you open is free so that there are no monthly charges. And you can ask, do you have an account without a service charge? Most checking accounts are free, especially if you have direct deposit into the bank, but be sure and find out. When you open a checking account, you should receive both checks and a card that will allow you to make purchases. There's no charge for writing a check. However, you do receive a limited number of checks, and when you run out, you must purchase additional ones. As for the card, there isn't normally a charge for swiping your card to pay for your purchase at a store. But if you get cash back when you use your card, there will be additional charges. Also, you can use your card to withdraw money from your bank's ATM without paying an extra charge. However, if you use another bank's ATM, you will be charged an additional fee. There are two types of cards, the debit card and the credit card. And we will go into greater detail on those in another video. But for now, you should know that the debit card is for spending money that you have already deposited in the bank. With a credit card, you're spending someone else's money and will need to pay the money back to the lender. The safer choice for not overspending is to use a debit card. An overdraft is what happens when you spend more money than you have in the bank. When you do this, you'll be charged an overdraft fee, which means you'll need to pay back the money you overspent, as well as an additional fee to the bank for them covering for you. And you'll be charged every time you overdraft, so that you could end up paying numerous extra charges. It's important to keep track of your transactions and account balances to avoid overdraft fees. And don't think that you can just go to another bank and open up a different account in order not to pay those overdraft fees. Banks are in a banking network that lets them know when you have charges and will not open another account. There are other types of financial companies, but they are not under the same regulations as banks and are often predatory by taking advantage of you through even higher charges and scams. We do not recommend payday loans from these companies. These are short-term loans to get you through to payday, but they're high-risk loans with high interest rates. If you need to cash a check and you don't have a bank, we recommend a company like Walmart. They'll charge you a fee for cashing it, but they do have a safer and better reputation. We also recommend that you set up a bank account for yourself. Be sure to open a free service account, avoid additional fees, keep track of your balance, and don't overspend. If it's necessary, pay back any overdrafts that may be keeping you from getting an account. And be sure to watch our Managing Your Money videos on budgeting.